been a while. So, round about, I don't know, I think it was last March or April, something around that I last did a crafting stream. So it's been a while. But, I mean, I haven't stopped crafting. I generally wasn't doing so well, so I haven't been able to come out for a while. That's okay. So, see, I forgot to bring references because I'm not that smart. See, if I'd have thought this through, I would have prepared properly, but, you know. So, today I intend to be making a costume for the main host of my, well, the cat girl who's taken over for my gaming. It's a bit of fun, and I want to, mainly. As with most projects that I do, I want to is the main reason. So, yeah, you're not interested in her, that's fine. Also, this stream may not be 100% stable. Windows is doing things that I neither know or understand. And, yeah. You know what Windows is like. So, essentially, if you haven't seen her, I should have brought references, didn't bother. But, literally the profile picture for the account now. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I can't just... Yeah, you can see I planned ahead on this one. Now the question is, do I try to get a reference? Or what? Do I have one? I've no doubt at some point I have gotten bored and taken a picture of her. It's very much the kind of thing that I'd do. So yeah, sorry, but that's... Wow, that is not working, is it? Oh yeah, no, I forgot to set that up too. My bad. Because it's always off by a bit, and I never really worked out why. There you go. That's where it's meant to be. But you can see nothing on that screen, so... Well, that's my initial planning down. Again, I'd usually have her in the corner, but I don't. But that's fine. So essentially, relatively regular cat girl. Purple hair, light purple dress with a top that I would only call decorative on top. I mean, it has no practical function. So I've already got the wig and that. I've got to make the clothing and the cat ears. Now I'm going to be doing these towards the end, so sorry about that. Again, I did not plan this properly. I thought I'd done better. I have not. But I have been experimenting over the year with making cat ears. That's the first experiment, which, to be fair, is a bit messy, but it turned out pretty good. Then I did this set, which is just experimenting in colouring. I haven't properly brushed it out yet or anything, but it's just do cat colouring experiments. And I intend to use similar to make a tail anyway. And of course, I've gone a bit out my way to actually do prep, but not the proper, because... yes. Essentially, I have drawn up plans and got material. So, this is the basic planned top for the top of the dress. Literally, this is the section of the shoulders and chest. And I haven't drawn it down to the bottom because of the width of the paper. Again, this thing ends up in some point. I'll find the front of this. It ends up about that wide, which that's the width of my prototyping paper. So it was never going to fit. So I have measurements written out for that, and hopefully that'll work. Yep, that's my water bottle. Yeah. Okay, look, I'm out practicing using the studio. It's been a while. That is the correct one. So yeah, around here I have a lot of books or a lot of files like this, which are just collections of patterns. Now, some of them are patterns that I've modified, and some of them are patterns that I haven't. Okay. Oh, it's just... Sorry, yeah, I turned off the feedback down here. Don't know why, and it was just freaking me out. But I know I've made these patterns and modified them to fit me. Now these patterns are for... Literally, yes, I make my own stuff at this point. I ain't that good at it, but I do make my own stuff. So that is one of my many sports bras I'm good with not fitting well. It's... So again, it's only a little bit wider, which is good. That's sort of how I intended it to end up. And of course, I'm not using very good materials. But actually, no, they're good, but not intended for this purpose. So if I pull out the Mark IV, that's back, and if we find the Mark IV of the front, again, that's actually the front of the Mark IV, yeah. That's the back, that's the front, I think. Is it? 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Because, yeah, I've been making this one thing and refining it for quite some time. As you can see, a lot of modifications being done over time. Version 3. Yeah, I think that's 4 back twice and 4 back again, which means I may have lost the full front. Which is very concerning for me because I spent a lot of time working on these things. But yeah. Yeah, it also means 4B will be the latest, I think. Let's have a look. This is easy enough to tell. Yeah, because I added seam allowance, which adds up to 4B. I know, I should have the latest, but then I'm lazy. So we mean actual width-wise, we end up... So yeah, the shoulders are fine. Right, I didn't have a pencil that's any good. Wow, how far down does this go before it gets back to loud? If anyone's ever seen a builder's pencil, that is how you sharpen it with a knife. You literally just whittle it down the blade. Oh, I think Windows Update's done. So we end up like that much. Yeah. We end up at about that position. Then over here we end up at about this position. Because there are no sleeves on this side. Now of course I am going to have to replicate this from one side to the other. Which means I should have brought the paper, and I didn't, because you know, that would involve thinking ahead, and I don't think ahead. Okay, I didn't think ahead, but I really underestimated just how much I'd need for this. So, I'm back in about a second. I will grab, hopefully, everything. Okay, so what do I need before I run? So I need new thing, yeah, we've already got that, and yeah, so we need new paper, smaller scissors, and run. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Oh, I have a screen for this. Oh heck, that was quick. Right. So, admittedly, mistakes were made. As is tradition. As is tradition, mistakes were made. So let's have a drink, calm down for a second, because panic doesn't help anyone. And of course, hydration is good. So let's get me some terrible scissors that are not made of fabric. They'll do. To be fair, I say terrible scissors sarcastically. They're actually pretty good scissors, but you know. So, first off, I have extended down the side and gone out. Save the such for seam allowance. I think I have enough seam allowance on that because I have left a lot. Front. Let's make sure. Again, very different styles of clothing, so. Oh wow, I cut that way too deep. So this is going to end up being the front. Now, of course, when it comes together, A, B, C, D are what attaches with, and E, just attaches onto the rest of the dress. So again, at this point, I'm also doing patterns. Why I didn't add seam allowance down there is beyond me. You can see it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, I'm gonna do it properly, you know. And yeah, I know I'm adding a lot of seam allowance. I'm a really bad seamstress. Like, I know the rule of don't insult yourself too much, but I taught myself, so I am pretty bad. Okay, so we don't chuck this away because there are measurements. That's the measurements. I know I didn't add it there either. So yeah, we're probably going to lose a bit. There and there. That's fine. We are going to get some tape and correct that. Of course, I can't do a great deal around the side because some idiot cut it very wrong. It may have been 5 seconds ago, it may have been me, but you know, tradition. Some complete fool made a mess of it. Over. This tape ain't as good as my old one, but you know. Okay. So how I made these, they are either made from a pattern I bought or I found a piece that was similar to what I wanted. So if you find a dress that's similar style to what you want, and then you can trace around the edge of that and then modify it. Because people get annoyed when you just trace. So trace around the edge, modify it to be exactly what you want, and then hopefully you'll have your own. Yeah, this dress was supposed to be a relatively generic design, so it's staying that way as it is meant to be. Yeah, so we've got the top. This just feels so much bigger than it is, and yeah. And of course, I'm making this a bit bigger than I am, because I can take it in afterwards and make it fit properly. So at the moment this has got front written on it, because I'm going to have to trace this directly onto this pattern, onto another layer, and then cut out the front section, which is basically that U shape there, which will make it the front. Can we fit across? Yeah, sure, yeah, we can do that. Now, of course, on the edges, where I'm doing these little taglines, is where the seam allowance ends. So that I can, in theory, redraw the seam allowance where it was. No, we missed section, so if we come here, get this little bit, and we should have everything. So few just little straight bits that I can fill in. But that's kind of a thing with cloth designs, is that you end up with loads and loads of curves, because people aren't straight lines, it turns out. People are all complicated and curvy. And the back. As you can see by the hastily scribbled word back. And yeah, even when I buy patterns, the first thing I do is, because the patterns that come on are in really weak paper and are a nightmare to use. So I get them to the right size, transfer them onto this stuff, then I can actually use them. Oh yeah, again, I am not saying what this stuff is. This is wall repair wallpaper. It's basically really high density paper, and they sell them by the big reels in hardware shops. It means they're tough and durable. You can beat them quite a lot, actually. You can see I'm not being gentle with this stuff, and it is just working. yeah, like if you have worked with the patterns that you get, they are just like sugar paper and fall apart if you look at them funny. There's this one I mainly use for armor crafting, but if you make a piece of armor out of this stuff, you can actually try it on to see if it'll work. I mean, admittedly, armor doesn't work that well made out of paper, unless you're in ancient Japan, at which point there was actually armor paper. Okay, so D, B, A, C, F. Because it's not technically E, because it's on the back. No, technically it's a replication of E, so it should still be E. Plus, yeah, if you can't work out which way the bottom section goes, it's a giant curve. So, it does. As long as it's the top bit, you're fine. So let's cut this back to be the front, which involves drawing seam allowance onto this. Make it clear which bit's which when we start. I think that curve was a little bit too V for me, for the design I'm going for at least. So yeah, pattern making, isn't it fun? That should work. Okay, personally I think that will be far too high, but we will find out when it's made. And the worst that happens is I have to recut and like just redo 1 or 2 sections. So I'm not that bothered. Or concerned, actually. Just rub off some old ones. Just make it easier for me to understand what I'm doing later. Now the bottom section was way too big to draw a template of. So I'm going to put that away for a sec. Drop you over here. Don't hit anything. Oh. I need the bottom of this, actually, yeah, I'll need the bottom of that back in a minute. Fine, don't stop. This is the downside of using curved sheet. First off, how far can I actually make it across this table? That's 70. I mean, theoretically I could, because it needs to be a metre long, which is only 25 centimetres extra. I could move that back a little and slide it over the end. But how wide does it need to be? Oh, it's 64 centimetres long. Okay, that's a lot easier. So the top width is 45. And the bottom was 100 at 42, so let's call it 110. Which means we need about here. Just bunch you over a bit. We're almost using up the full area that I've been recording. Look, 110. Just move it here, so we might be able to make it. Okay, so 110. Let's say we're starting up here. What's under there? Pencil. Of course it's the pencil. So half of 110 is 55. That's why I went for such an easy number. Let's get my straight edge. So we've got a start point. Now it's never going to go into that top corner because I'm going to have it coming out this way. Let's just drop this under there and pull it through to 10. That's through to 10, which means now 65 will be the start point, and I can have it underneath being weighed down, which is there. Yeah, okay, I see the problem with what I've done. So, 65. Close enough. How is this first one 55? Get you out of the way. Here. Okay, 3 points makes one. Okay, so we've got our central point. Now the top is going to be 45. Which split in half is 22 and a half. So 22.5. Okay, let's start using solid meter for this. This is getting silly. So 22.5 is 22.5, not 25.5. and 22.5 the other way is here. So this is the width of the top where it joins onto the dress, so there, give or take a little bit. It's fine, I can lose all of that, or I can lose all of that later. Our length downwards is 64 apparently. But we need 100 that way, and we need 50 this way, 55 this way. I'm probably doing this wrong, aren't I? But there you go. Come on, a little further. I lack a proper name for this, but it's a very loose bottom dress, so... So we need 64 down here. Okay, so I realised the paper is actually 55 long and I can't do 64. That's fine. That's what we have a roll for. Right. So all we have to do is bond the two together in order to do this right. I mean, you got in doing these things right. So go around like that. Yes, I'm adding another metre, or half a metre, just to compensate for an extra like 10 centimetres. It's not my day today. I mean, I've had worse days, but it's not going well. Okay, you get the water bottle, you get the scissors. So the same as when you do a big design and you've got to do it over multiple pages, you just tack it together. Worst thing is I've got to do it again at the end. Okay, chuck you there, and chuck you there, and roll back. It's a little. And start rolling back. I ripped the paper. I mean, I said this stuff's tough, not indestructible. It occurs to me now that I could have done this much more easily. I mean, yes, at the end, the best time to realise that you could have done better at the start. See what I could have done? It's done it 2 wide and 1 long, which would have mean that I'd only needed 60 centimetres and just stuck 2 60-odd centimetre bits together, which would have worked perfectly. Yeah, this is the stuff that I usually don't show, by the way. It's okay, it's just light. But yeah, this is still part of the process. Big, long, slow. It's all good. Yeah. And if we just grab this, roll it up the other way. And I'll roll it up the other way so it counters the curve in it, and it makes it easier to lay down, basically. Look, I hit something that will go ting, but that's usually a sign I've hit something bad. There you go. Okay, I'm just going to make it stand up. You get out from underneath. Where's my tape? There it is. I don't like this whole standing thing. So 60, let's just make it 66, because step out there. I think this will work. So from that corner down to 66 again. And this should be about 110 arc along bottom. Okay. Smooth it forward a bit. Okay. When you realise this is just terrifyingly large. Over there. That's right angle. I said about the right angle for a reason. So I'm going to have to think of a way to transfer this on, but I think my cloth is big enough. I think. Okay, let's move that to safety. I didn't one time before. I learnt the lesson. Now, this dress is going to be very loose at the bottom. That's intentional, so... I made this far, I haven't cut anything important yet. Or me. Has been known to happen. So nice when you cut in a straight line. There you go. With just that much, I needed the extra paper for, so I clearly didn't plan properly. Don't forget to drink, because hydration is important. So yeah, this one is going to be the same front and back, or at least for this pattern. So we literally get E, F and G. And of course the bottom just folds over and becomes a seam. But yeah, getting two of these and sticking them together is not going to be difficult, so I don't really need the E, F and G. And with that, we have a pattern. See, at this point is where I'm thinking, why didn't I start with the cat ears? The cat ears are easy. Which they are. Ah, there you are. Right. So this is my chalk containment duct tape cylinder. Cool. I don't know. Whatever. Also, if you're wondering how I ended up with a waist that is in the 60-70 centimeter measurements, that's for set power armor I made a long time ago. Unfortunately, I chucked all of that in a walkway, so it's going in another walkway that isn't in my way. Maybe the tail. Maybe the tail would be a good place to start. So next up, we have cloth. So, and fabric scissors, because what people think I'm going to be doing, cutting this type of, sorry. So yeah, fabric scissors are for fabric, that's it. And otherwise, where did I put that bit of chalk? I always drag over a new bit of chalk every now and again. So first off, this fabric's probably the wrong type. Pretty much if I'm using it, it's guaranteed to be wrong. Don't worry about that. Yeah. And of course, do some tidying because I need a complete mess. Yeah. As you'd imagine. It's hot glue sticks, lots of them. So, again, that appears to be the waist bit on top. It's all nasty and icky. But I need to unfold this enough to find an edge, which is here. So, stretch is that direction. Wow, that blue looks, or that purple looks so much more intense. Okay, so stretch is that direction, more than this, because you just get that much stretch that way, and that much stretch that way. It has a little bit of stretch in the other direction, but... Okay, no, you are not getting near my... No, you are not getting near my fabric. Do I overbuy fabric? Yes. Every time. Mostly because I have no idea how much I'm going to need. But ultimately I need to be cutting it this way because I want the stretch to be across the chest, not down. Yeah, we've got another nasty bit on the bottom here. Say this is a lot easier on very large open floors over a table. And when I'm not just like tossing it on the floor immediately, because you know, bad habits. So first off, we have a back. Okay, where's my... Go. Now this makes a mess, but is the way that I've always transferred these. Just go around the edge of it with chalk. And you end up with an outline. And you may wonder why I am, one, wasting so much fabric, which, that's why I buy so much. You know what I said before? I'm not very good at this. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Just mark up A. D. Of course, be careful of the extra fabric on the bottom. You don't want to make a mess. And I believe this roll of fabric is a metre, or in metre lengths by 1.5 meters wide, and I have several meters of it, so every one of them should be able to handle the 1.2 that I had across there. Now you'll see with these cuts I'm getting a more precise line and less jagged than I was when I did the big long ones. That's because I'm taking my time. Okay, so sarcasm aside, if you push forwards into the cloth and cut, it folds up and then you get a very jagged edge. If you hold it straight, the scissors will cut a straight line. If anything, I'm moving back slightly whilst doing it. For of course it takes a bit of concentration, quiet to do.